like that. Jack Merkel out there doing burnouts at the end of that. That's cool.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. TarnationTV.com live. And here we are at Maverick Cup Series, the high voltage racing league back in full swing. Took a week off. Well, here we are, Bristol Motor Speedway. So we got some short tracking to do tonight. A couple 100 miles, about 100 laps on the clock tonight. This should be a good one. This is race number 4. And it should be a good one. I mean, last year we were pleasantly surprised. I mean, Bristol's a super tight track, and you know, you just expect it to be madness. But last season here, season number 5 race at Maverick was phenomenal here at Bristol. So we've had guys out here practicing that have like 150 laps down. The race is only 100. So they've already run a race and a half, and then we're going to do it again. So anyway, my name is Blaine Donlan, joined as always by Rod Weston.
Yeah, back at Maverick again. Like you said, you know, Bristol was a great race last year, hoping for the same result this year. Points-wise so far, you know, Josh Mercurio is kind of not really running away with it. He's got a 52-point lead over Pablo Vitor and a 56-point lead over Jack Merkel. So Jack Merkel, of course, is our last year's champion, as you saw in the video there at the end of the video there. He was the one doing the burnouts. I would imagine that he will be on point tonight. He's usually pretty good at these short tracks. And we're at the great, you know, last.
Holy moly. Let's try this again. You got me, buddy? You got me, Rod? Oh, wait.
I think
Let's turn Rod on. There we go. Hey, Rod, you got me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're live again.
Oh, perfect.
Complete software failure, but we're back online. The boys are qualifying right now, the boys and girls, I believe. And we just had an anomaly. I've never had that happen before. 6 years of doing this, and hey, guess what? There's only one. So, tonight, Bristol. All flustered now. But thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you for Maverick, or thank you to Maverick for having us do these broadcasts for them, even if they do tend to fall off the rails a little bit sometimes. Bristol is an awesome track. Last year, we were saying before I don't exactly know when the software decided to shut down. But Bristol last year was really, really good. So hopefully we're in for another treat this evening.
Well, let's run through the qualifying order. No surprise here. Jack Merkel on the pole. McCurry on the outside pole. RJ Bishop starting 3rd. 4th is the points leader currently right now, Josh Mercurio. And 5th, Michael Norman. Not running the Cletus McTrinan car tonight. I don't know. I kind of like that car. But 6th is Pablo Vitor. He's got a nice car tonight, too. It's a black monster car. I kind of like the looks of that. 7th is Keith Hughes. 8th is Rodrigo. 9th is Noah Hart. 10th is Carvey Edwards. 11th, Joseph Landy Pavillon is out there tonight. 12th is Sydney Neto. I'm going to get some of these names down. 13th will be Vera. 14th is Jonathan Peavy. 15th is number 9 is Seth Cole, a Flat Out Racing Network. You'll be working with him on Thursday. 16th is Guerrero. 17th, Ulysses Poppy Sandoval's in the house tonight. Wrecking Ball's here. That's a good one. Keep your eyes on him. The 18th is M. Figueroa. I don't know his first name right off the top of my head, but he's running around there in a beautiful Corona car tonight. 19th is Crocodile Crom. 20th is Austin the Plant, fellow New Englander up there. And 21st is Matthias Yankee. 22nd, and I always screw this guy's name up. I hate it, but Jorge Pochon. I said it right. Look at that. All right. 29th is Papa Snyder. 24th is Zach Hall. 25th, Mac McIntyre. 26th, and I think we had heard that Garcia in the 502 was his first race over at Maverick tonight. 27th, Tate Dorsey. 28th, Nate Nate Gunther. Whew, it's a long list. Then, of course, I beat Wayne tonight in qualifying. That's an unusual one.
I was last. Easy to beat me in Lotto.
So, yeah. 30th is the one and the only Josh 2. 31st, that's my favorite number, the 7th of Benjamin Snyder. 23rd is Daddy. I hope I'm saying that right. Daddy. And the 58 is the wife of the one and only Josh 2, Corey 2. And rounding out the field tonight is that broadcasting guy that can't get his software working right tonight. That is the one and only Blaine Donellan.
That's what happens when you're sitting over here pushing buttons. You know, sometimes something just blows up. But yeah, that's the first time that's ever happened. So apologies.
You were talking about how you are trying to find a macro that can make your drone work better and all that. And I think you started playing around with the buttons and you hit the wrong one.
I think I jinxed it. Yeah, because I want a macro for something completely different, and then the thing just shut down completely. But either way, I have my stream set up where there's two options inside YouTube. You can have it run, the software will trigger it to start, and then when you stop the software, the video will start. I learned a long time ago, don't do that. You want to control YouTube, because if something like that happens, the stream actually would have ended, and then I would have had to create a new link. But at least the way that I have YouTube set up is like when it loses a signal, it waits until it gets a signal, and then it'll start again. And then the bonus is when this race is done and YouTube compiles it and it just becomes a video, you won't even notice. We'll be talking about 5 minutes of dead air right now, and people watching it on the replay won't even know what we're talking about, because it'll literally cut that chunk automatically. That chunk will be removed and it'll be stitched back together again. So it's pretty sweet how that works. But either way, that's all technical jargon. Nobody cares about that stuff. As you can see from the screen I was just showing there was Maverick's upcoming schedule. So right now, of course, we're at Bristol, and we will be at Kansas, Talladega, and Mexico City. I can't wait for Mexico City. Of course, it is that'll be May 5th that we're going to Mexico City, so that'll be cool. I've never actually seen that track, so that'll be kind of fun. I don't know how I missed it. I know it's existed for a long time. But yeah, Kansas, Talladega, Mexico City. Very unique schedule here. We actually are showing the proper schedule this time. I was very confused as to what happened, but the schedule did change just before the season started and actually didn't update my graphics. So that is the one that is real. But thanks, as always, to Benjamin Schneider and the whole crew here at Maverick for having us do this stuff for them. This is race number 4 of, I believe, 26 races on the schedule this year. They did add a couple more. Ben also runs like a West Series, a North Series, and a Road Course Series. Maverick Cup Series is what you're watching live tonight. But that's the HVRL banner, as the High Voltage Racing League has multiple series involved. So very cool, very busy place. And this is what the track is looking like this evening. Very cool to see our logo right there on the, I would say infield, but Bristol is not big enough to put grass. But either way.
Hey, you know my theory on grass.
Yeah.
You know why NASCAR puts the grass there? Because if it was asphalt, we try to use it, and you will see these drivers drop below that yellow line using that asphalt down at the bottom. That's just, that's the nature of the business of race car drivers. They'll use whatever they can to make themselves go fast.
That's the thing. This entire place is pavement, so it will be utilized.
Actually, your track is concrete, so.
Oh yeah.
They had to go to concrete because the forces that the cars were creating, I don't remember exactly what year, and imagine that the forces are even more strong now. But eventually, the cars were getting faster and faster. The track was asphalt, and it kept ripping it up. So they had to do something different. That's why Bristol and Dover and Martinsville, just the corners in Martinsville, are concrete.
Yeah, that makes sense because the concrete won't curl.
Yep. It doesn't come apart as easy.
Yeah, I remember there's a truck stop in Belleville, just west of here, and when they come out of that, when the transports come out of the truck stop and they get on the highway, that section is always just absolutely demolished.
Yep.
And then when they fix it though, they cut it out like, 200-foot square and repave it. And then, with like, they put concrete layers and then they put asphalt on top, and I don't know what they do, but it's crazy how much damage asphalt can take.
Yep.
And then these tracks, there's so much science involved in them. Like, you got so much horsepower running around. And I mean, NASCAR's not the only thing that goes to these tracks either. Like, it's a full-time motorsport venue, right? Like, you need to have consistent tracks. So these guys are out here just demolishing each other. I'm trying to concentrate and talk here. Some of these cars are going airborne, barrel rolling. So they're getting it out of the system now, people.
That's a good thing. I don't know if we did get the points in there before the thing crashed, but we'll just go through that real quick. Josh Mercurio is on the pole. Yeah, here we go. He's our points leader, and Pablo Vitor is 54 points behind him, and Jack Merkel 56 points behind him, and I bet Jonathan Peavy is 86, and Ulysses Sandoval is 93 points. So it's your top 5 in points. Long season. This is the 4th of, 26 race season. So, anything can happen. Yeah, keep your eye on that Jack Merkel guy. He's pretty darn good. And of course, if you guys that are new here, you don't know, last year he took a bet with Keith Hughes that if he had to win 7 races and the championship, if he did not do that, he would not be able to race at Maverick anymore. But the deal was he couldn't qualify. So he had to start dead last every race. And he did. And he ended up with over a 400-point lead, won the championship. What was it, I think? Close to 10 or so races. Quite a few races, too. So keep your eye on Jack Merkel. He's a pretty good talent.
Imagine taking a bet where, like, I promise if I don't win the bet, I'll never race here again. Like, that's a pretty crazy bet. It's confidence in yourself, man. But he put on a clinic last year. I think there's some guys, there's another half dozen or more guys that could have given him a run for the money, but they just weren't able to make as many races. And he was just the most consistent. He showed, I think he only missed like 1 or 2 races.
Yeah, like Keith Hughes is one of the guys over here that runs really, really well every night we see him out here. We talked to him. He finished, I think, 3rd or 2nd in a couple races back. And, he's sat down and played sitting Edmonds a few times in these road courses and other tracks like that. And I was like, you should have gone all season. I mean, I think you'd have had something for him. You made the bet with him. You go out there, you could have won the bet just by taking the championship away from him. And he said, I'm not a big fan of road courses. He said, there's a few tracks out there I don't like. So those weeks I just sit up in the booth and, clear black flags and don't run them.
Yeah, I mean, you're dedicated to the game either way, right? Like, you're gonna show up and they're gonna get it done. And there we go. I finally get the points figured out too. That was all twisted as well. But, yeah, so far we've had. Did Benjamin send you the countries represented this evening?
Not yet. He usually does. But there we go. Just as you say that, they come up. So we have 24 drivers from the United States, 4 from Brazil, 2 from Ecuador, 1 from Argentina, 1 from Colombia, and 1 from Mexico. So. And it's a smaller field tonight, and not normally, we usually normally have a few more cars, but it's Bristol. Not everybody's a big fan of the short track, so, right now I think we have like 27 drivers out there that have taken time, so I think we're about 27 to 30 drivers. Nothing wrong with that at all. Let's see if we can find Jack Merkel. He is supposed to be our in-race reporter. Where did he go?
Oh, yes, we have an on-track reporter every night.
Well, with the technical issues we had, it took, we were trying to get things squared away. By the time we didn't think so, but Benjamin just restarted the server. So, Jack Merkel, you got Rod and Blaine in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
There he goes. Last year's champion. For you, 3rd in points this year. You've been picking away at it. Do you think you can? I know you can, but I gotta ask. Do you think you can get it done this year again?
I'm going to try to. It's definitely seems to be a little bit harder of a start this year. Bad luck at Daytona. Got lucky with the last caution. Was able to win Rockingham. What'd I win? I don't remember what I won. Yeah, Rockingham. And then, the bad luck 2 weeks ago. Got real slow. had engine damage after lap 11. He kind of set me back, and then sped that last caution, and then had to get sent to the back, and only had 2 tires versus everybody's 4, so I just was a sit and duck for that restart.
Yeah, so last year, we talk often about that, how you had to bet with Keith Hughes, and you did eventually start, you didn't qualify at first, but then eventually you started qualifying and then getting the end of the longest line penalty so that you started at the back. Last year, you won here starting from the back. Tonight, you're starting on the pole. That makes things a little bit easier, per se, for you, as long as the strategy works out. You don't get caught pitting in a bad situation.
Yeah, the track last year was definitely a lot easier to do that back to the front type thing. It was real multi-groove, and it just felt nice to drive. This one's a little bit tougher. Real one groove track. Both sides of the track are different, so I'm glad I'm starting up front and I don't have to work my way through the field, because I definitely feel like it would be a lot tougher job to do that this year than compared to last year.
So, absolutely.
Do you know what changed from last year's version to this year? Is it the track itself, or is it the setup in the cars?
Yeah, the track this year is completely different. This is actually one of the more accurate Bristols I've driven in terms of the track shape. Usually Bristol in this game, both the corners are the same, but in real life this track is almost egg-shaped, so 1 and 2 are a lot tighter of a turn than 3 and 4. And so it's a little bit harder to get through it, and you definitely have to drive each corner differently. Versus last year, when you could kind of do the same thing in both ends and it would act the same. But this year it's definitely different driving each corner, and you definitely have to change how you drive the corners as the race will go on too.
I've never raced on this version, so that's cool. I mean, that actually puts a nice little element into it. You have to be more of a thinking driver to be able to understand what corner you're in, and it's not hard here to things go by so fast that just for a moment forget what corner am I going into, and yeah, that's tricky. That's cool.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the tracks that I can definitely get lost in, trying to figure out where pit road is and where I'm at on the track. But thankfully, with the way everything drives and everything like that, it should be a little bit easier, and I'll try to pay attention to where the line is and everything like that, to make sure I don't get messed up and enter the wrong side of the pit road and then slow myself down a bunch.
All right, well, we're going to let you get back in there and get back to what you got to do. We might grab you a couple of times under cautions if we think, whatever, if you're up for that. So we might.
That's fine. We'll have a bunch of them, so take your pick.
Hey, last year's race was awesome, dude. So
but last year was fine. The way this track drives, I think it's going to be a little bit more cautions. There might not be as long a green flag runs as there was last year, but we'll definitely try and see what we can get done, and hopefully we can get at least one green flag stop in there.
All right, buddy. Well, good luck tonight. Have fun.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Jack. Yeah, I'm getting a top-down view of this thing right now, and he's right. Like you can see on the right side of your screen, like I line up the bottom of the screen where it's straight, and it almost does have a tighter. That would be turn 1 and 2 is a little bit smaller radius than 3 and 4. I wonder if this is the brand new one, because I think I've sent you the video.
2026 is what it said. So yeah.
Yeah, I sent you the video. There was a guy. It's GP Laps, fantastic YouTube channel when it comes to old legacy simulators. And somebody rebuilt Bristol from the ground up. They didn't use any references from the original game or anybody else's track. They started fresh and real to life. So this might be it. I didn't check the README file, but either way, this evening's Grand Marshal. Look at me remembering to do my job.
Hey, I was just about to say this.
Yep, great. You may have noticed on the front straightaway there, we've got logos for Schettner Customs, because this is, in fact, let's see if we can get a look at it here, the Schettner Customs 200. They've got it branded right on the track surface there on the front straightaway, and we have Greg Schettner himself, who did the call here last year as well. So he's back again, and we'll hand it off to Greg before we get going green here. We'll be back.
All right, this is Greg Schettner here. I want to wish everybody good luck tonight at Bristol Moore Speedway. Have a great race. Have fun. Drivers, start your engines.
Wow. Jack Merkel got a really, really good start. McCurry on the high side also, but one of the drivers backed. I'm not sure which one it was. I think it was R.J. Bishop did not get a good start. He spun the tires, went down to the bottom of the track, and is going backwards a little bit. But, other I think he'll get it going and get back up to speed, but he just had to get out of the way from all those cars coming.
It is very cool seeing our logo on the ground there in the turns. It's kind of neat. And I'm like, I've said it like the last couple of races too. It's cool. Like Tarnation TV actually became a thing. I never thought it would. But
yeah. But we've been doing our best, and every league that we run for, they've been throwing it, the logo out there. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And like Maverick, when we started doing it for Maverick, the subscriptions went up, the views went up. So I think a few more eyes are catching it, and they're digging what we're doing, I guess.
Yeah, up to 404 subscribers, so that's pretty cool. Just since we started talking about that, not every week we get about 1 or 2 more. Our goal is 500. It's not a big deal if we don't get there. We don't talk about it too much, but just enough. Hey, subscribe if you're out there. Come back, watch what we do. Right now only Sunday's the only night we're not broadcasting for the most part, so
pretty much, yeah. And Randall Coleman over there at Fast expressed interest in the product for one of the segments of his series, because they run 30-40 races in a season, and they hire broadcasters, but they don't hire a broadcaster to do all of them. They do segments. I'm seeing on GNL TV Josh 2 in the 85 engine camshaft failure.
Oh no, that's
2 laps in and the thing blew up on him. We're just focused there on Anthony Mercuri now in second place.
Wonder if in the first caution does he kick out Connie out of the seat and go grab her car for her?
Yeah, is she out here tonight? I didn't even notice.
I would tell her no. I would tell him no, man. You blew up. That's your problem.
Yeah.
Josh Mercuri currently in the 3rd position. He is our points leader, all over the back bumper of Mercuri there. He is trying, not too aggressively, but he's trying to just wait patiently for Mercuri to make a mistake or give him just enough room, but hasn't been able to do so. I haven't raced this track, so it was pretty surprising to hear that it's actually different on both sides, and it's a one-groove racetrack. You don't see too many leagues try to run the groove racetracks. They more kind of like to lean towards the multiple groove ones, but that's still pretty cool.
Yeah, if this is the Bristol that I was seeing there on GP Laps, great YouTube channel, by the way, if anybody wants to check him out. Oh, yeah, we've got a dumpster fire on the front. Doesn't look that bad.
The 50, and I missed the other car.
So Gustavo made it. Because he was, Ben mentioned before the race that Carrillo may or may not be able to make it into the race tonight. Unfortunately, that thing's smoking pretty bad. He might be cooked.
He is one of the 4 Kias that do race. The 2 Snyder boys, run the Kias as well. And then I forget who the 4th driver is.
That's too bad for Gustavo. If he's headed to the pits now, we're going to see maybe if he's forced to retire, maybe they can fix that thing. This is a short track. I mean, engine damage, I don't know, though, if it's...
As long as you got the engine and 4 tires, aero, yes, it will make some effect, but aero won't be a big deal. He's smoking a little bit, so with engine damage, it actually may make it easier to drive. As the front few cars, looks like Josh Mercuri is going to be the one car that stays out. That could be good or bad. We'll have to see. Seth Cole also stayed out with him. So it would be good in the sense that he will be able to go out and lead a lap. We are only 13 laps in it. I'm not sure what tire wear would be here tonight. I think he would probably more on the fact, first off, lead a point. He'll probably stay out and go for a bit. And being where he is, it looks like there's a few other drivers in the way back that did stay there. So that might put a little bit of distance between him and the guys that got 4 fresh tires. So that might not be a bad play.
Just trying to find the point of caution here. It looks like Noah Hart in the 83. We'll get it in a replay mode here for you. Just kind of got loose all by himself. Kind of got down there. Back end kicked around on him. Problem being, that was right in traffic. And that collected a bunch of cars. And Gustavo being, in the wrong place at the wrong time. He hit really hard.
I'm wondering, just watching what's going on here, they all come out of the pits. I'm wondering if, they I didn't see whether they got the red flag or not, but I'm just kind of curious to see, does that put them all behind them, or, you know what I mean, or did they, get stuck in the middle of people, or? But I guess, all 4 drivers that stayed out, that would be Josh Mercurio, Seth Cole, RJ Bishop, and Matthias Yankee stayed out. So that, I said, that would be a benefit possibly for Josh Mercurio, just because he's got a few not slower cars, but a few cars in between him and everybody else. Matthias Yankee makes that turn down to go onto the pit road, so it takes one less car away.
I wonder, that pace car seems to be going awfully slow. What's the pacing speed here? 30?
30 mile an hour.
Oh, it is? Okay.
That's why they came out of the pits so fast then, you know what I mean? Because the pit road speed is 45 miles an hour, but pacing speed is 30. So you're going to have, people on the pit road get out of there quicker. As we get ready to go green, they can do about probably somewhere around 90 laps on fuel, not sure about tires.
Yeah, I think this type of track, I would believe, would be a tire thing.
Yeah.
Big super. We got some spinning tires.
Spins the tires on the high side, but still gets a great run. Josh Mercurio is on that bottom groove, as we talked before with Jack Merkel. A little bit, but it's more of the preferred groove. But don't tell Seth Cole that. He sent that thing in there, almost got it going. He's got a good run out. Finally, Josh Mercurio clears him just a little bit. And then he's got Jack Merkel there underneath him with the 4 fresh tires. Looks like caution's back out.
Just focus on RJ Bishop there. It looks like the old Casey Kane.
Yep.
Color scheme there, the Dodge.
Speaking of the cars there, hold on. I forgot to tell you what they were, how many were out there. What we have, as when you were talking about there, can't hit the wrong buttons that don't work that way. You know all of that from you. We have 17 Toyotas.
Yeah, I'm a professional.
6 Dodges, 5 Fords, 4 Lexuses, 2 Cadillacs, 3 Cadillacs out there now, 3 Chevrolets, 3 Kias, and 1 Honda. We know the Honda that is Keith Hughes. But, the other day, the other broadcaster did the other day, it was a bunch of Chevys, and we only have 3 here tonight. So Cadillac, of course, that's Josh Mercurio is one of them. Jonathan Peavy is the other. I forget who the third one is. I will find that out.
Just slowly going through the field here, taking a look at all these cool rides. As always, this NASCAR Racing 2003 community is pretty awesome. All these talented painters, drivers, track makers, the sound pack. I can't remember the name of the sound pack I'm running tonight for the engine sounds. I think it's the car tomorrow. I can't remember.
Third Cadillac is Miguel Figueroa in that Corona Extra car. The other Cadillacs. I was going to drive me nuts, but I didn't figure that out.
There's a new driver. I think we've only seen this driver a couple times here for Iker Vera. That's a hot looking car too. That Mobile
that's
One.
Nice.
Yeah.
As you all know out there, I do the racing thing for real, and I had a second car that I ran last year, then rented it out to Gracie Snide, and this year she's not going to run it, so we just got the nod today that Colburn's going to be driving the number 23 Senior Outlaw this year, that he'll be renting it from us, so that's pretty cool.
Sweet. Yeah, kind of look around at these cars a little bit, see if I can see a name on there, that the painter who painted it, because I know, I'll put my little logo on cars I paint. Rodney will do it, Bernie will do it. This league is kind of detached from those leagues, though, so these, I don't know where these paint jobs came from, but they look pretty awesome.
Matthias Yankee was going to, as came back up. I guess he's one of the lucky dogs. The other one would be the 50. That's the new guy. One of the new, not the new guys, but
yeah, 50 was Carrillo, right? That was Gustavo.
Yes. He was involved in that first caution, which the leaders passed him before you could get going. So that put him a lap down, possibly was 2. So should be getting his lap back, I would imagine, soon, as the pace car lights are off.
There's Michael Norman. These guys are trading a lot of paint, even under yellow.
Yeah. Well, as Merkel said, the track is a little different than what we're normally used to seeing. So.
Yeah, I never realized that. I just always thought that Bristol was like a perfect oval, where, like he said, it's a little bit of an egg shape, and I take that top-down view of it, and I'm like, yeah, it is. It's tucked in on the one corner, so yeah, that's neat. Yeah, you need to know where you are on this track, because if you enter that corner wrong, you're shooting for a wider radius, and you're like, whoops, I'm in 1 and 2. It's tighter through here.
Yeah, those old tires of Josh Mercurio did not get a really good run off the bottom there. Jack Merkel got around the outside of him. Mercurio with the 4 tires as well gets back into the 3rd spot, moving Josh Mercurio back into the 3rd. One thing that Josh doesn't want to do, he wants to be up front, wants to win, and everybody wants to win. He wants to be there, to try to get the podium finishes, but he doesn't want to see that 24 car in front of him.
No. Yeah, definitely the car to beat is that 24.
Last year's winner, in 21 it was Nick Gunther that won here, 22 Alex Moe, 23 Keith Hughes, 24 was Trey Kingsley, and last year was Jack Merkel that won. So currently leading the race, so that works pretty good for him.
Wow, you've got the whole setup. Where did you get the entire history of it?
Mr. Benjamin.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because we're in season 6 right now, so you've actually got the first 5.
Yep.
Yeah, Benjamin is a stats machine. He's got all that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. We were hired on there last year to do this, so we've only got the 1 year's worth. But yeah, it would make sense the guy who owns the league, who runs the league, would actually keep track of all of it. This is a great mod too, by the way. This is Generation 6 Bull Ring, and they're running Cup physics.
I like this mod. It's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I like about it is, like you go to the original Cup, they just have everybody have the same gauges. Different manufacturers have different gauge sets, so like you're on board with Josh Mercurio there. I'm not sure what that is based off from. It's based off of Toyota, because you can see it written on the dash, and you can tell it's a Toyota by the way the gauge cluster is. You go to a Ford, it's a different gauge cluster. You go to a Dodge, it's a different gauge cluster.
Yeah, well, Ford. Here we got Paulo Vitor. He's driving a Ford.
The difference in the way the dash is done up and the different gauges. I like the Dodge just because the water temperature and the oil pressure gauge are just in a perfect spot where you can really just glance down and see it.
See if we can find a Dodge. Ford, Toyota, Ford, pace car, Chevy, Ford, Toyota. Is nobody driving a Dodge?
So there's people out there driving Dodges, but they're probably on a Ford template.
Oh, a Ford body, yeah.
Because these templates were originally made for the the different manufacturers the way they were. But when you start putting together people making aftermarket, not like aftermarket, but different templates for them, and sometimes they just don't fit. Because the Dodge that's in here has the Dodge Charger nose on it, so it's pretty different. So a lot of those, like the Dodge Darts and stuff like that, will probably be on the Ford because of the way the Ford has kind of the, I believe they were running the Fusion at that time. What happened? Oh, wow, I just had a blackout for a minute.
Yeah, me too. Everything just went stale there for a second. We're back, though.
Yeah. So
that was a server side, I think, because that was, you saw that too, so.
Oh, yeah. Focused on Jack Merkel there. He's got a little bit of smoke kind of. Somebody spun there into turn. I believe that was turn 2. 1 and 2. This is a admin controlled yellow. So that was 3 and 4. Now that I know where I am, it was an ad. Oh no! Jack Merkel just kind of got on his nose underneath Mark Snyder there, and it just touched.
That was the thing, though. Mark, he got underneath him, but Mark didn't give him a whole lot of room. So Merkel's like, well, I can't go down below the yellow line, man. Unfortunately, Mark got caught up in that.
McCurry's in the second spot. In the 06 this year, I forget what number he ran last year, but I don't think it was 06. So got a few number changes, differences. Of course, in third is Michael Norman, one of the announcers over there at Flat Out Racing Network.
Yeah, we'll be. See, he used to do him and Kyle Matthews on Thursdays. We produce that race at the Rolling Thunder Game and the Talladega Challenge in cahoots with the boys at Flat Out
Yellow Flag
Racing. Yeah, this is a complete lockup right here. They all parked it almost.
Getting ready to say that Rodrigo is in the fourth spot. Things kind of slowed down a little bit there.
Yeah, we'll back that up and see what happened. But yeah, Norman was, they were alternating the duties on, see if I can get a
Thursday, yeah.
Here on the Thursdays. But Michael wanted to race. So Kyle Matthews is a full-time co-host now with Seth Cole, and Norman is on the track racing. And you were thinking about racing in that next year too, eh?
Yeah, well, if I can, when I gotta keep track of that when they come in and start doing it. It just looks. I'm not a big fan of it, but Daytona and Talladega, but I don't mind doing a few of them, so I might go back there. Be looking forward to after this Wednesday we get the last race of the championship series. They'll crown a champion there on Wednesday. Then I get to go back to ASR and get back to my open cup setups.
Yeah,
I like that one.
Oh, there was a big stack up there, yeah.
RJ Bishop stayed out, and it looks like, I don't know if he's on the lead lap or not, so I gotta check that.
RJ Bishop
is not.
No, he is one down.
Yep. So they stayed out because they're a lap down. Just trying to see if anybody stayed out, or kind of looks like everybody went in that were on the lead lap and went out and pitted. See, when they're doing 45 miles an hour on pit road, and they're doing 30 miles an hour on the track, it kind of seems like they're getting out of the pit road before the pace car gets to them there. So it makes a little bottleneck off the turn 2 when everybody comes out from the down on the track. So I would think
weird.
Yeah, I would think that probably, what is it, Joseph? I don't know if Joseph is going to be the lucky dog. Who is going to be the lucky dog because of the way it went out? But I would be willing to bet you that the RJ Bishop, Matthias Yankee will probably be the wave rounds.
Mm-hmm. The first two, right? Yeah. There's a bunch of black flags out there, but they're probably getting flagged for passing the pace car.
Yeah, so they're gonna probably stay out and do the wave round. With the amount of cautions that we've had, what would happen is they would, they'd get the wave round. So there they go now, taking that wave round. The 3 drivers go around. They'll come around to the back of the pack. They'll concur a black flag for pacing the pass car, but the admins will clear that. So that's kind of doing a wave around like they do now in the current NASCAR. That will get them back out there. So that way, they're back on the lead lap. Should a caution come out, they're able to go back down pit road, get their 4 tires fuel, and stay on the lead lap. So that was a good call for them guys.
Track position too, as you can see, you get the top, Merkel being at the top, McCreary right behind him, Allison Rodrigo, Paulo Vitor, Keith Hughes, Sidney Neto. A lot of these guys staying up front. We've had 3 caution flags.
The power points leader, Josh Perio, back here in the 10th spot. Good start, though.
No spun tires on that one.
Now the question is, can McCurry get down underneath? Nope. Merkel charges into turn 3 and 4, turn to 3 and 4 and just rolls it. That's another thing, problem too. It's, you know, like he was talking earlier about how the corners are a little different. Sometimes it's hard for us to kind of figure out what corner they're on because we can't, you know, they're pretty similar.
Yeah. Mark Snyder down there on the apron, if you can call it an apron. Here's Bristol's so short.
He is trying. Yeah, it's amazing how you're not on the gas here for very long. I mean,
No.
you'll come off the corner, you'll hit that start-finish line, and just about the point where you hit that start-finish line, but you don't go much further than you lift. Some people, believe it or not, don't brake here. I do. I'm always one of the more heavier breakers here, but some people don't brake. I just like to set the nose a little. But it's a fun little track, but you don't, like I said, you're not on the throttle for very long at all.
I kind of work both pedals. Like I'm always on the gas, but then you're dragging that brake.
Yep.
Yeah, because you can't get off the gas completely. You'll throw the car out of whack.
I always get it's always kind of funny because you can see there's not a lot of flames coming out of these cars. That means that some of those guys that are getting flames are lifting and not, you know, not trail braking. People always say, you know, look at the flames, and I said, yeah, not on my car because I'm always trail braking, so it's never really see the flames come out on the car I run. It's funny though, they're doing it. They are lifting and getting flames out of in 3 and 4, but not so much in 1 and 2. So you see the big difference as there is a parking lot on the front stretch. Jack Merkel has to slow right down to let the cars get straightened out.
Thanks again to Greg Schettner for throwing down the Grand Marshal duties for this evening. Ben does a pretty good job every week of finding a different Grand Marshal. From last year, some of the guys are coming back, like Greg did it last year as well, for the same race, sponsored the same race, the Bristol race. Bunch of new Grand Marshals, returning Grand Marshals.
And watching Rodrigo back there in the second spot, he wasn't letting Jack Merkel really get away, you know, so he's pretty stout here tonight at the Bristol track.
Who's that?
The 43 of Rodrigo.
Oh, Allison Rodrigo, yeah.
Allison, yeah. Been right on him pretty good. He hasn't let Merkel wasn't really getting away from him at all, so.
Cool looking call there too. Nice, simple Seahawks paint scheme. I like that number, actually. I always have problems with numbers. It's got the little bit of a hatch in the back. That's cool. A little bit of texture. See what Allison decides to do. Probably full service. Oh, he overshot his pit. My goodness. Keith Hughes trying to get in there.
Looks like, yeah. So I was trying to see if Seth Cole was still on the lead lap. It's not hard to get a lap down, and he is. So he's going to stay out. Probably going to try to lead that lap. Just funny how they come out. You know, like I said, 45-mile-an-hour pits. If you watch the pace car going through the middle of the corners, he's doing a little bit of drifting. Not the way you would expect him to drift. The back end of the car is sliding in. That just give you an idea of how much banking's here.
Yeah.
Well, you look at I don't know what on the broadcast what car you've got, but the pace car that they run out there is the Challenger, so that'll give you the idea of what I was referring to about how the Dodge body doesn't really have the nose that's, you know, good for running them paint schemes.
Yeah, mine's Charger. The official pace car. It looks like a police car.
Yeah, but you see that front end on that, you know, you can't really put a Dodge Dart nose on that or, you know, anything like that. So they find the template that better fits it, and then they throw the nose on it. So, you know, it's a, you know, even in the racing world, you know, you could buy a car from Hendrick Motorsports and it goes over to Haas Racing and it gets converted over to a Ford. It's just a different body. It's the same idea. Everybody has where they want their gauges and stuff, and that's everybody does it a little differently. Well, Merkel, he's on the well, of course, Seth Cole, who is your current leader right now. Car looks a little beat up for him. he takes the bottom. These guys are allowed to choose what side they want to be on. Let's see if Seth Cole with the older tires, last time he did this, he spun the tires, so hopefully he can get a good runaway on that start.
Yeah, Benjamin keeping us up to date there. A lot. Let's see. Honda's on a Toyota. Kia, Dodge Dart.
That was a
are on the
weird start.
Ford. Yeah.
Very, very weird start.
So see, Seth's checking up.
He went when it went green, and just like nobody else went, or whether it had that late, because sometimes you'll see, the tracks will throw a really weird one. You'll get a really late.
It looks like he almost had to compensate for getting a jump start, because he went all the way back to the 14th sitting right here, Seth Cole. It's almost like he felt bad for launching too early, but I mean, if it tells you to go, right?
Well, that's my role on it, yeah.
Yeah. LFG. There's Sydney Neto. We've got Allison Rodrigo, Noah Hart, Michael Norman. Josh Mercurio went way past him. Anthony McCreary. Jack Merkel in second. Nick Gunther and that Square D. I always remember Bobby Hamilton driving the Square D.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember that.
I haven't watched NASCAR in a while, so all my knowledge is like from the late 90s. Bobby Hamilton.
I haven't watched a race, but I do watch the highlights. So catch the highlights sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't really have a favorite NASCAR Cup driver right now. Mine was Martin Truex, and he retired. So I do like Justin Allgaier in the O'Reilly series, and that's kind of the one I usually pull for. So
yeah, my guys were like Tony Stewart, because everybody hated him. Clint Boyer was cool.
Just looking back there, Neto making a early charge on Rodrigo there, and they got a good run down to the bottom. Just a little while ago, Rodrigo was right there on the back bump for Merkel. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to have a drink here for a minute. Merkel pushing him, and now he's back there in the 9th position. So
Nick out there showing you how it's done. So there's guys that can give Merkel a run for the money. Like I'm thinking, like Zach Rogers, if he ever decides to show up. Nick Gunther's great.
Fourth spot now. Earlier he was a little bit further back. He's kind of back on the same pit cycle with these guys. Right now, log-in laps. I mean, we're just a little bit past the quarter-way point. We're not even halfway yet. Mm-hmm. But once these things get going, these laps wind off real quick. They're only turning about 16 seconds laps. So,
and 41 of them led so far by Jack Merkel, 10 by Gunther, and then 1 by Neto.
Caution's out
Cole,
again.
that's all I see. Now there is a cooldown period sometimes here. If they get a bunch of cautions in quick succession, they will not throw caution for a span of time, which is a neat rule. I never really understood what that was. Like, oh, there's caution cooldown.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, it's like the flag man burned his arm out and he needs a rest.
Yeah.
So they won't pull the yellow, and because the league actually controls the yellows on and off, so they can control when they fly, and they can, like right there, they could have put the green out again if they wanted to. That's how cool that server-side executable is. It's not required on the client side. One funny thing I found with the Fast League is Randall runs a different EXE that the client is also required to use.
Yep.
And my free cam doesn't work with it.
Wow.
Because FreeCam attaches. What I mean by free cam are these drone cams that I can zoom around. So free cam doesn't work with the special executable that Randall uses because it's looking for NASCAR 1201.
Yep.
He runs NASCAR, 340.12 version C. Like, it's completely different. When you fire the game up, you see down the bottom, it's a completely different version number because they run a modified. So free cam doesn't see it. So if we do run for fast, we can't get very creative with the drone cameras like I can.
There you go. Robert Springs in there. He said it's Bristol, and he's saying go with Seth. And It's a personal joke between us, but he said, "Go diaper boy," and don't forget diaper boy. So can't. And then he says, "You can't forget him, Rod."
These guys just came out in front of. So now they have to wait for the pace car. Where's the flag man? I don't see anybody closing the pits. Right?
I didn't notice that. That's a
I just
possibility.
realized that because there's no official. Sometimes the track will replace the official with a light stand.
Yeah.
There's nothing at the pit exit that tells the drivers to wait for the pace car.
You think about that. So
That's
they
crazy.
come out where they're doing 45 mile an hour on the pits, and the pace car is doing 30. They come out like that, ahead of them like that every time.
But technically, if you're on pit road, you could almost use that under yellow to your advantage. You could just drive through and come out in front and lap everybody. Is that not a glitch?
Yeah, I would think, but you know what I mean? I'm not sure.
See,
I don't know.
Here, okay, so Ulysses is waiting because that's what should happen. There should be a NASCAR official out here with a stop sign or a red flashing light somewhere at pit exit to tell you to wait for the pack to go by. Once the pace car pulls the pack by, then the guy puts the green flag up and you're allowed to go back on the track. Super speedways have them too, but there's a lot more room out there. That's interesting.
So RJ Bishop did not pit that time by. I'm not sure when he last pitted, so he is currently going to be our leader. He did take the high side though, which is I find a little odd.
Well, RJ is an odd duck.
Yes.
Maybe he knows something we don't.
That's a possibility too. Well, Jack Merkel was able. Oh no, he spun the tires.
Yep.
Bad.
He lit him up.
Drops him way back.
Stacking.
Pablo Vico got a little bit out of shape there. Flipped RJ Bishop, then he went around. Looks like Austin LaPlante got kind of pushed down onto pit road.
I think they did throw the yellow up. Okay.
Yeah.
I was curious about that because they were bashing each other around down there, but they actually got it sorted out.
I think their rule of thumb is if it's a single car spin, they will not throw a caution. If it's a multiple car pile up or something, they will.
Right. That looked like it might have been a single, but we're also pretty tight on cameras here. Can you grab Merkel and bring him up here? I want to ask about that pit road exit official.
Jack Merkel, you got Rod and Blaine in the booth. Blaine's got a question for you, buddy.
Yeah,
What's
man.
up?
We're noticing now we got a 30 mile an hour pacing speed with like a 45 mile an hour pit road speed, and there's no official at the end of pit road telling you guys to wait. Am I seeing that right?
That is correct. Everybody's getting a black flag as soon as we go on pit road because it's going from... We're doing 30 on pace and then 45 on pit road. So we're passing the pace car and getting a black flag, so they're having to... Keith's having to do some clearing out. Some people are getting 1 second holds, and it's kind of being a little finicky, so you have to kind of get lucky and hope that you don't get one.
Why is there no official or a light telling you guys to stay on pit road until the pace car pulls the pack through?
I'm not entirely sure. There definitely should be, but I'm guessing it's because... I guess it's because it's giving us black flags that thinks it doesn't need to, but it's still weird. I'm not sure why it's not doing it.
Yeah, this is the first track I've ever seen without a pit road exit official with that little stop sign. Or sometimes some newer tracks replace that guy with a light stand.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed. That I've been waiting on him to show up, but I haven't. There's no light, and I haven't seen the guy, so I've just been going and then waiting, which is it's kind of confusing, unfortunate, but it's just I don't know what happened with the I&I for that. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
30 mile an hour pit road, pace speed, and the 45 mile an hour pit road speed. That's really going to mess things all up too.
Yeah, I think it got flipped in the I&I somehow, and I think it was supposed to be 45 pace, 30 pit, but it happens sometimes.
Yes, it does.
Gotcha.
Well, that makes a little more sense for us to, what's kind of going on there. So
we're figuring it out.
All right, thanks for the info. Good luck. Keep up the good work.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, I never thought of that.
Yeah.
The configuration file behind the scenes might have been...
Well, if they do, change things around and whatnot, something like he said, could have been just a quick clerical error that, did that, and that's going to create a little bit of a problem.
Benjamin Snyder in the YouTube chat. One more yellow before 80. Lap 80 would be a cool down. Oh, so he has like a mathematical little equation there. Robert Spring says not at Bristol, Blaine. So talking about the pit road exit official, the Bristol tracks don't have it, according to Robert.
Never noticed that. But, you know, I never couldn't say whether have or not.
Yeah.
Merkel, again, on the front row. So he's your first car out there and takes the high side. So he for some reason, he seems to like the restarts on the high side there.
So that's interesting. So if what Robert Spring is saying, like there's never an official, that would make sense, because then what Jack said kind of answers that too, is like the speeds were switched. Yeah. If the track pace was faster, you wouldn't need that.
Right.
And because it's just a short track, you just kind of blend back in.
Pretty even start. McCurry down the bottom there got a really good start on him. They're side by side on the exit of 2.
I hope they clear Merkel's black flag. It's been sitting up there for a while. He might get disqualified.
Oh, Merkel sends it right in and goes off, takes the lead. McCurry on the bottom. Josh McCurry just sends it on that high side as well. Clears McCurry. Oh, no! Looked like Michael Norman and McCurry had a little bit of touch there. Straightened it out, kept going. Bit. Yellow flag is back out. Pace car is hauling the mail. Woo!
Look at him go. Mackenzie Weston must be driving that thing.
Yeah. I know Gracie's not. So now, you know, to see whether they stay out or pit. They just pitted not too long ago. We've had a couple of cautions, and they haven't gone down pit road, but I don't think they've hurt the tires enough to where they, you know, justify pitting at this moment. You know, you don't want to be, you know, Jack Merkel, Josh McCurry, you know, Josh McCurry, and yeah, I know I can't say this today. I don't know why, but they did. They proved me wrong. They all go down pit road.
Yep.
I was going to say, you don't want to be the guys out there leading in the front and then have a bunch of people just go out and, you know, put you in the middle of the field, but couldn't get my names right again.
So going through the list here, we've got Corey 2 and Josh 2 both retired from the race. Jason Daddy is also out. Benjamin Snyder and Carnby Edward. Mark Snyder, Gustavo Carrillo, and Lucas Garcia are all lap down or 2. Everybody else is on the lead lap. 24 cars on the lead lap.
Curious to see, you know, everybody's taking 4 tires. Jane Bishop, a late comer, probably a late comer into that. Ooh, looks like Nick Gunther, and I think another car there. I'm trying to remember the number. They must have done a 2-tire stop.
Oh, okay. Getting some track position on pit road, even under yellow.
Gunther Netto, I think they only did 2 tires, and they're going to come out in the front of Merkel and McCurry and Josh McCurry.
It's pretty crazy to see, man. There's, you know, 32 cars on track here on a Tuesday night, and people are logging in and going and racing, and a game made in 2002.
2002, right? I got it. I was going to say, don't say three.
Late 2002, but yeah, here we are, you know.
Well, 20, what they've done
23
with this,
years later doing this, it's wild. I love it.
What Project Wildfire did for this game once the game, you know, when NASCAR sold the rights to EA Sports was amazing. Project Wildfire opened the game up to a point where it is allowed the people to do the modding that they've done to make the different series and stuff. And it's just incredible what people will come up with.
See, I like to think in my mind that they knew what was coming. Like, this game's going to end and it might die. What can we do? Yeah. And they're like, hey, we're going to put out this mod. Like, you're going to have a GNS physics. They're going to have the project, the Trans Am mod with, is it 6-speed or 7-speed? Transmissions,
there's
like
6-speed. I think it's
6-speed transmission. Yeah,
Yep.
so they added a couple more gears to it, and that's a totally different physics package where it's like open wheel style stuff. And you're like, and then they lose the license and it gets abandoned, and like, oh, the game. Well, now it's like it kept the game alive because people were able to get in there, and like this, even these cars we're looking at right now, it's a mod.
Project Wildfire was done after EA Sports bought the rights. So EA Sports had bought the rights to NASCAR, and so they could no longer sell it under the NASCAR banner. So a bunch of guys from basically Sierra Papyrus got together and said, hey, let's just start this little thing, and they did. And because of that, that's how we get all the extra mods. If they hadn't have done that, it would have been just the Cup mod. This game wouldn't have lasted that long.
Because I remember they patched it to 1201.
Yep.
And then they had a quick fix for it.
Pace cars down pit road.
And then that allowed mods.
Yep. Figueroa, Figueroa on the outside spins the tires a little bit. Figueroa on the bottom, Gunther down on the bottom underneath Figueroa there. And I think Gunther's going to get the runoff. He does. Move Nick Gunther up into the second spot. Alexin Rodrigo out front now. Matt Merkel back there trying to get back past that Cadillac, the Corona Cadillac of Figueroa to get himself into the third spot. Got McCurry right behind him, and Josh Mercurio behind him on the bottom. These guys that got the new tires, the guys that stayed out, are on their little older tires, so they're not going to go as well. But it might pay off. They could get themselves in some pretty good track position. Neto's got a little bit of an internet issue there, kind of jumping around.
Riding on the roof of Alison Rodrigo in first position here. Looking out the back. Yeah, but I just always think about like what. So Project Wildfire then was like a mod team, but they were modding their own game.
Yep. Yeah. Well, they no longer could sell it, so a bunch of them got together, created Project Wildfire, and they added mods. And I think you're right in one aspect. I think this was something that they had already had planned on doing, but as I've told you, EA Sports bought the rights to NASCAR for 2003. Yeah. So they had to get the game finished, get it out, and get it out there before 2003, or they wouldn't have been able to sell it. So they sold it. It went up for sale in 2002. These guys just created the mods and the update for it afterwards, and that's led to what we got today. Because I mean, it's still running basically on that same platform, same update, with the exception, like you said, are some leagues that do run different EXE. And a lot of that's just for basically cheat protection, stuff like that. It's like anything. You got to watch people. Some people, will find something that probably not really legal, but they run it until they get caught. So.
And it's cheat protection, and I know like a lot of control, like controlling cautions and all that kind of stuff too, like stage racing and.
Crocodile Crump sideways in the middle of the track, but
They might leave the green up there. He was able to get it out of the way. Gunther's still breathing down the neck of Alison Rodrigo there, trying to take away first, but I think they're just kind of content running right now. They're keep the tires in good shape and just click some laps off here. We're coming up to halfway in about 9 laps or so.
Gunther lost a little. That's why. Okay. Gunther lost a little time coming off that corner, but I couldn't see ahead of him what he was looking at. So he was looking at something that maybe, he thought, I'm going to back off a little bit just to make sure that I'm not involved in it. He cleared up, and he's back on the throttle.
So Benjamin was telling us before the race, I think it was the 61 of Iker Vera, that was the on-track photographer. That's kind of a neat thing.
Yep.
So somebody's in control of the photography. And then another thing, Lucas Garcia in the 502, this is his first start, and he was actually suspended for the 500. Ben's in the YouTube chat. Do we know, why? He would know why. Why was Garcia in the 502 suspended for the Fun Coast 500?
I'm not sure. Benjamin did say something. We should go full blast.
Yeah, I haven't used that in a while.
Yeah.
Where did I put it?
Don't hit the wrong button.
That's I'm afraid to do.
Yeah.
I'm looking
Although,
for it right
Gunther,
now. I don't. Did I change it? I might have changed it.
Gunther there, though, Benjamin just put up a good point there. Nick Gunther was the first winner of the Bristol race the first year they've done this. And he also said that there was an incident at Homestead in 2025 that parked Garcia for the Fun Coast 500.
Okay, so yeah, if you get parked in the final race, it'll carry over to next season. That makes sense. There's other ones that were banned from the Fun Coast 500 were Matthias Sankey and Carlos Mendez.
Well, let's give them their full blast then.
Want to do full blast? Cool. I'll shut the mics down, and that just will go on board to start with Gunther. And all that full blast is I shut the mics off, you turn up the stereo system, and enjoy the ride. Turn down your volume.
Oh, yeah. We're back.
I'm just afraid to start talking because if people actually have their stuff boosted to 9,000%, and then we come talking. Watching Merkel got hooked up with some lap traffic there, was able to dance his way through it. He's trying to get to Gunther.
Gunther made a good charge there, took over the lead. Thought Jack Merkel was going to get him. I really did. The way that went when we started the full blast there, Gunther was able to hold him off on that high side, got it back out front, kind of gapped him a little bit, like you said. Lap cars got in the way a little bit. Then, so now he's got Jack Merkel right on his tail. Two of the previous winners of this, Gunther winning the first one that they've ever ran, and Jack Merkel winning last year. So, woo! McIntyre gets out of the way on the high side. Not a lot of room to hide on this track.
No, there's not. Yeah, but like I said, it is paved, 100%. So Merkel's got the nose
on the bottom.
underneath.
Put out the corner, but I think if Gunther hadn't clipped the wall, he might have kept that there. Merkel isn't quite clear of him yet. Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
He does get it that time.
I don't know if Gunther lost control or just said take it.
Now remember, he took 2 tires, Gunther did, so those, after a while, those 2 tires are going to start hurting him a little bit. So had a few laps in there that could possibly be the reason why he's just backing up a little bit. He's starting to size him up, see which way he's going to go to get by him. Crocodile Cromp there is on the high side going a lap down.
So Merkel back to the front. Gunther was able to lead 27 laps. Alison Rodrigo has led 21. Merkel dominating this thing, got about 49 led right now.
Gunther can't be too unhappy where he's at. He is currently, he and Tate Dorsey are tied for the 6th spot at 117 points behind Josh Mercurio. But, that's still, it's a good night for him. He's still in the top, well, not top 5. He's kind of top 6 in points. So, even though he might not win it, but finishing up, if he finishes right now where he's at, 2nd place is not a bad finish for him, and it'd be a good points night. Ooh, it's a little sideways coming off the corner, Gunther is.
There's a lot going on around this track.
Yeah.
Look at the 50 though. Gustavo Carrillo is still out there, had engine damage on like the 5th lap of this thing, or 7th lap. When did we have a yellow? I can't remember. It's very early. We saw that thing puffing black smoke. And they were able to fix it up in like 100 laps later, and it's still holding together. So the engine crew over there did a pretty good job.
He's 4 laps down currently, but he's still going. So that's.
I'm surprised. I mean, at a track like this where there's a lot of pedal to the metal lift, pedal to the metal lift. If you've got a little bit of damage on your engine enough where it was actually spitting black smoke, that it's actually holding together with all this abuse. At least if it was a track like Michigan, you just kind of. Higher RPMs, but not as much fluctuation,
But you see, like I was watching Nick Gunther there, that last run, coming off the corner. He was stepping the back end of it out of the car a little bit. I've seen a lot of people doing that, but I guarantee you don't see the 50 doing that. Losing a cylinder or two may slow you down a little bit, but it also makes the car handle so much better because you're not spinning the tires coming off.
Yeah, I never thought of that. A little bit less horsepower, but on a short track like this, you can just drive it harder now because you're not ever going to wipe yourself out. Yeah.
And fuel mileage gets to be a little bit better. I know it doesn't sound right, but it does. When you drop a cylinder, your fuel mileage does get better.
Yep.
But, and it does make it easier to drive on certain tracks. Obviously, when you're at like Talladega, Daytona, dropping a cylinder is detrimental. But on some of the short tracks, it sometimes, like I said, can come and play dividends to where you have a better, more traction coming off. I was just wondering if Nick Gunther pitted. I didn't see that.
Looks like everybody down here is getting full service. We've got McCreary, Merkel, RJ Bishop.
Let's see how Gunther come out of that.
There should be a stop sign like right there, but like Spring was saying, they should run OG Bristol, man. Yeah. I want to see the front straight, back straight, the front straight, back straight pits, where you're like, oh man, they went down the wrong pit, and you gotta go all the way around.
Done that before.
Oh, dude, that original Bristol where they had 2 entrances and 2 exits was hilarious.
Yep.
Because you can see this has been modified because you can see that they're in this corner where that would happen. They've got these yellow cones and extra lines telling people like, yeah, this isn't like a thing. But at least they left it open, so if you still had to get in there, you could just take the penalty and go in there. But.
So now Nick Gunther went out there, went onto a couple of pit stops back there, took 2 tires, only took right side tires, got himself out in 2nd, took over the lead, led for a little while, dropped back to about the 4th position. Caution falls, he comes in, takes 4th tires, he's in the 4th position. So the net gain of that was, very good.
Mm-hmm.
That was a, it was a good strategy call on his part. Now he's going to start Jack Merkel on that high side again. He gets such a good run on that. It's hard to believe that he keeps taking it. As we talked with him earlier, how this track is more of a bottom feeding track. Everybody wants to be at the bottom, but yet he keeps taking the high side and making it work.
Just saw Miguel Figueroa going back into the pits there. Where'd he go? There he is.
So as far as fuel goes, I believe, and I could be wrong, and I've been wrong before, they could make it from here on fuel. So now it's probably more of a tire situation.
Maybe that's why Miguel maybe is going in to just top everything up.
Yeah. I think a big thing too, though, depending on each individual driver and what they prefer, you can loosen a car up a little bit by putting some, topping the tank off. If you like a little bit looser setup, you go in, even though you don't need fuel, you put fuel in there and add that extra weight onto the back to get it a little bit looser. Or sometimes drivers just don't add the fuel because they don't want the weight. So depend on each driver.
You never really thought of that. Yeah, like you can add the fuel does add weight to the car. It can help with traction and
changes the perspective of the car, how it handles. Lights are off on the pace car. Should be making that turn right now down the pit road. Jack Merkel, McCurry on the bottom, Nick Gunther, Josh McCurry on your top 4 here. See what the kind of start we get off the run here. Wow, McCurry is right on it. He was a little bit back on Jack Merkel there. He made a better start. Might pay off.
Yeah.
As he comes off the corner. Merkel's going to send it in there. He's been doing that all night. Oh, McCurry is able to get out front and lead. That was a good move. Good start. Good time start. Didn't spin the tires. A little bit of contact there on the exit of the corner.
It's such a fine line to spin in your tires, especially here, depending on the gear package. What are they starting at first?
Depending, like you said, depending on the gear package. Myself, if it was an open setup, I would have a higher gear. I may not get off pit road all that well, but I would be able to start off on the track better.
And not spin.
Right. But with a fixed setup, everybody's running the same thing. I know Jack Merkel, I think, is one of the guys that helps with making the setups. And that's the thing. It's not hard, but it is kind of hard to make a setup for a fixed setup league because, I would imagine, the talent that Jack Merkel's got, he'd want a setup to be a little bit loose so he can kind of hang that back of the car out. But not everybody can do that. So you have to make a setup that works for everybody, and usually it leans on the tire side, but your good drivers, they'll learn how to, back up their corner a little bit and make that right front last.
Just saw Noah Hart there in the distance. He got out of shape there a little tiny bit, lost a couple of spots.
Benjamin says that Keith Hughes and Tate Dorsey are the ones that work on the setup.
Oh, and Tate does the track design and the logos as well. Okay. So thanks, Tate, for putting Tarnation TV on the track. I guess that's the guy right there.
Not a bad thing to have guys like that can, change tracks and tweak things and.
Gotta give credit where credit was due, though, and I didn't check the INI file for this track. I don't know if this is the one that it's branded 2026, and I can't remember the name of the artist that made the one that was featured by GP Labs, but I downloaded it and it's awesome.
I'll tell you, this is what they call a rhythm track.
Yeah.
So you literally, it sounds funny. You just go, you go boom, bah, boom, it's just a rhythm. And I just watched McCurry lose his rhythm, and then McCurry got bumped out of the way there. But McCurry was all the way to the wall a couple of corners back. He just lost that rhythm, got a little out of shape, and it's not hard to do here. What we mean by a rhythm track is just as it sounds. It's almost like beating a drum. You just try to keep that bang, 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 and you get it right. Talladega, Daytona, there's none of that. It's just flat out and go. But you literally just got to keep that rhythm going. When you do, it all becomes just second nature, and you don't even really. You start not even thinking about anything else and just focusing on that, and you just start sailing.
Once you start thinking about it, it's, it's gone.
Newcomer up there in the front, we haven't really seen much of him all night long. That's Keith Hughes. For currently running in the 4th spot, just behind Nick Gunther there. Josh Mercurio dropped 1 spot to him when, I don't know whether he missed the corner, got a little help. Not really sure. Bristol, it's not uncommon. Whoa, where's Mercurio going?
Mercury just hard left-hand turn. Yeah, I saw him down there hitting the wall there.
Yeah, it's like his wheel shut off on him or something. He just turned left.
Hopefully it's all right there.
Was our leader, too. I wonder if
he's
he's running a
rhythm,
G27.
Right? You're running the rhythm, and then maybe your hands just slipped off the wheel, and the thing goes left.
That or either if he's running a G27 and Windows 11, known problem.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. Yep.
Just to lose connection for a half second?
Yeah, G27, Logitech stopped supporting it. Robert Spring went out and bought a brand new wheel because of it. One of my good buddies, Chris, was talking with him. He went out and bought a Mosley because of it.
Those wheels aren't even that old.
No. They don't support them in Windows 11.
Huh. Even if you roll back the software?
Me and Bob tried it on his. It didn't work. My buddy tried all kinds of things on his. It didn't work.
Weird, yeah, because I don't have G-Hub auto-update itself. It sucks. I just leave it.
Yeah.
The old version never update it.
Got Windows 10, it's not a problem, but...
Yeah, I got 11 now, but I haven't tried hooking up the wheel to it.
If you got a G27, 29, or 25, good luck with that.
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. $400 wheel. Paperweight.
Just have to go out and spend, the big bucks and go out and get yourself a Mosley.
What's wrong with Logitech, though? Like, they've got these controllers, and there's no reason to not support it. It's a steering wheel, pedals.
Yep.
I'm surprised nobody's made up some third-party software. Yeah, I mean, you could probably just run no G-Hub and just run it as a stock wheel right in the Windows game controller settings.
I would think you would be able to do that. I just don't know if you would be able to really, because we've talked to a lot of people how they run like a Mosley and they have setups for it. They have, G27s, they have setups for it. And meanwhile, that is certain settings make the wheel work better.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's kind of one of those situations.
Profiles and the different games and
the different,
that's the thing.
Kind of run your, if you're running into the force feedback, you run the force feedback in your G-Hub to here. In the game you run it here, and it's stuff that makes the wheel better. Robert Spring, he went out and bought a Logitech wheel, not a Logitech, sorry, Thrustmaster. The reason he bought it was because we know Ken Roberts, Brian Rasson, they both ran that very same wheel. And they swore by it. So Robert went out, bought one. They handed him, here, set it up like this. You've seen Robert running on Thursdays, and we see him on Saturday nights. He's running great, just because he's got the setups. He may have struggled a little bit to get it up and working, to understand all that stuff. But when somebody hands you the thing to it and say, here you go, and it's made it a whole lot better for him.
That's cool. Yeah, that's wild. Now I want to plug my wheel in and see that. Like,
look at the bright side. 48 laps to go. 47 going on the line. Jack Merkel currently out in the front. He is not very far, just about 0.7 seconds ahead of Nate Gunther. Oh, jeez.
Nate with a yeah. You seeing that drift?
I saw Mercurial sideways. I was watching Nate was sideways. Oh yeah. Gunther was sideways. Mercurial was sideways behind him.
Yeah.
Mercurial got back into the 3rd spot, just past Keith Hughes. Oh, Gunther tags the wall a little bit. Not hard to do here. Luckily, a little scrape on the wall doesn't usually hurt you that much here.
Yeah. Hold on to her, Nick.
Yeah. He's back there in the 4th. Tate Dorsey, we haven't really spoke much of him tonight. He's back there in the 5th spot. He's been quietly working his way towards the front. Running great right now. Trying to figure out his sponsor. Matt Tripp?
Matt Tripp. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
No, gotta be something. Not sure. And the old Ford Fusion, though, you don't see too many of them out there tonight. Hart currently running in the 6th, and the first one of the Toyota Camrys out there. Dairy Queen Special. I see some smoke. Not sure if we got. Nope, still under green.
And Robert Spring in the YouTube chat. Logitech stopped supporting 2003, so I guess it's just on a games list that makes no sense.
Well, you know, one way of looking at it too, though, is you're not going to buy any new products if you keep running the old one, you know. So
Yeah, but that's lame.
problem you get is you'll get somebody, ooh, Tyus Yankee right in front of the leader, got a little out of shape, tagged the ball. Ulysses Sandoval same way. Jack Merkel just puts him a lap down. But you got to figure the downside to it is people, instead of going out and buying the latest Logitech, like Bob, they went out and bought a Thrustmaster or there. Mosley, you know, they're buying a real, better, different kind of wheel because if they're going to not support it, they're not going to keep buying it.
Yeah, like I will not do it. You know, like I can't afford to buy another wheel. That one was a gift, actually. I've had that for 6 years. But it's like a $400 unit.
Yep.
You know, and like what you've got, just because you've got like PlayStation 4, I think it was the PlayStation 4 G29. You know, just because we like playing this old thing, you know, why does it have to stop working? It's frustrating. I'm surprised that somebody in the community hasn't just made a driver pack for it that'll make it just work.
Give it time, somebody will, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Your leader, Jack Merkel, he has got all of the top 14 one lap down. He's on a mission right now. He is about 2.3 seconds ahead of Nate Gunther there. Nick. Gotta look at that. Sorry, again. You're looking in the car for the fancy stuff. It's a wrong mod.
Yeah.
Wrong mod for the fancy interior.
Yeah. Cool looking exterior, though.
Oh, yeah.
Whoever painted that thing did a great job. A lot of great cars out here tonight.
Yeah. Looks like we got green flag pit stops kind of starting. I think it's probably, like we talked about, probably a tire issue more than anything else. We have Keith Hughes down on pit road, just took 4 tires.
Aha. Yep. There comes Peavy and that 8.
It caught me off guard. I was like, who's in the 8? Because I keep forgetting, that he was in the 2 last year. There's been some number changes and hard to get used to it. That Michael Norman coming down pit road?
Yep. Oh, who's getting spun? Jorge Pachon goes around.
See Pablo Victor's around. Kind of looks like we stayed green on that one, though.
Staying up, yep.
Ooh, Pablo Victor was kind of in the middle of the track, just trying to get up to speed, and I think he's trying to get down at pit road. I think
he's trying to get out of the way, yeah. He got spun around. Yeah, you think you're right. I think he lost a tire.
He was trying so hard to get to the bottom. He just had nowhere to go. People passing him left and right. So.
Can't tell which tire. Looks like right front, maybe?
Okay, so...
Yeah, right front's dragging.
Jack Merkel's no longer the leader, so he must be on pit road. That puts... Hart is your leader right now. Followed closely by Rodrigo. One of the drivers that came down and pitted, I think like Austin LaPlante. Whoa! Oh no! Wow! Hart just...
What happened?
Caution out? Yep.
Yeah.
Hart was trying to make a trip down pit road, and as he started to go down, don't know who it was underneath him. I think it was Matthias Yankee. He couldn't make it, and then the caution comes out. That lap right there left only 6 cars on the lead lap. Fortunately for Gunther, Merkel, Tate, Dorsey, and I think that's 82. I gotta remember 82. Heath Hughes. They just came out of the pits, and they just got 1 lap down. So when everybody else goes in the pits, they will be able to be the wave arounds. Not great for them, with the short many laps. We're going to be close to 25 laps to go. But at least they'll be still on the lead lap. They'll just have to make a heck of a charge from the back of the pack up to the front.
Yeah, the 93 Anoa we saw on the replay there got bumped out before the commitment cone, so had to go around.
Yeah, and I think it's going to pay off for him just because of that. But as he got, he was trying to get down there. The car was, I believe, exiting. And it got him in a situation where he could not drive down pit road. Kept going. Caution comes out. There you go. Can't ask for anything better than that.
I just noticed 19 laps ago, Sidney Neto out with tire problem. You don't see that one very often.
Nope. Probably hit the wall enough to where it damaged the spindle or something. It's not an easy, quick repair, so it was considered, done. So all those guys that just pitted that were a lap down now are getting their wave arounds. Interestingly, I think Rodrigo stayed out.
There's a lot of cars getting a wave around there. Yeah, this is a strange pace car setup here tonight. So they know what they're doing, though. They got it figured out. They still will need to clear some flags, but we'll be all right.
I'm just trying to figure out. It had Rodrigo as the leader now, and McCurry second. Now McCurry is the lead car. Rodrigo is second. I don't know if they pitted or not. That would be the question, whether they pitted. I gotta check this out. Hold on.
Well, it's showing me Rodrigo has 6 pit stops and McCreary has 7, but that's kind of irrelevant.
Yes, they did pit.
Okay.
I gotta check something else out here. Oh, okay, they were under caution. All right, I was just curious. Looks like they did pit, so they're up front with fresh tires. Jack Merkel back in the 7th. That still worked out good. Good start from Rodrigo on the bottom, little
Door banging.
bumping.
Yep.
Curry's trying that high side again. RJ Bishop's up there, so that worked out a lot, really good for some of them guys that went a little long. Although the guys that pitted just prior to that, caution flag is back out. Guys that pitted just prior to that, like Merkel, Gunther, and all them guys, they were still, when they, everybody else pitted whatever, they still come out, and it worked out pretty good for them. They come out around the 7th to 10th position, so on the lead lap, so that works out pretty good for them. So Allison Rodrigo, and McCurry got the preferred position out front.
It looks like the yellow is out for Austin LaPlante. I see that car around on the bottom. On the restart there. Yeah, spun the tires. So did Pashon, but Pashon was able to hold on to it. LaPlante not so much.
I think we're going to be going green with about 20 laps to go. We know everybody just on that last round of pit stops, or a lap or two before that, up in the front, took their tires. Did Jack Merkel and them guys go back down pit road? Yes, they did. Tires must be that important.
I mean, now's the time to do it. You know, you're under yellow, and then everybody in front of you is going to be struggling.
Well, everybody's still got relatively, you know, just a few laps on their tires. So, I mean, they must be worth that much if you got Jack Merkel and Josh Mercurio on pit road. Josh Mercurio only took 2 tires, 2 right side tires. Jack Merkel took 4. So it'll be interesting to see what they can do with those. Wow. What a traffic jam. It's funny. As they enter the pits into turn 1, they exit the pits and enter the pits in the exit of turn 4. Into the pits 4, exit at turn 3. So there was a crisscross pattern there of people going down pit road and people exiting pit road. I mean, nobody hit each other. It was really good, well done. It was just funny to watch them guys all trying to figure out which way you going. You going down? You going up?
Yeah, really.
It was crazy.
Because there's not a lot of room out here. It's a small track.
No.
32 cars started. There's 24 left on the track. And that's not a lot of space on the old Bristol. I'll check the schedule here again. Remember, we're going to Kansas next week there, the 14th of April, followed by Talladega. Then Mexico City kicks off May. Remember, all Maverick races take place here on Tarnation TV exclusively on Tuesdays. Broadcasts go live at 8:15. Races go green around 9. This evening we were really early getting green. We were at 8:59, 1 whole minute.
I will have to say that strategy for Merkel and Mercurio worked out pretty darn good. They are still where they went into the pits, so they didn't lose anything, and they're out there on fresher tires. So I think that was a very smart move. I questioned it at first. Ooh.
So curious, yeah, now, once these things get warmed up, who's going to have the advantage?
Whoa! Curry on the high side, Rigo on the bottom. Curry sends it in there. Rolls out in front of Rodrigo out to the front. Hart's on the high side there. RJ Bishop on the bottom. Gunther right behind him. A little bit of a, not really bumper tag. Oh no! Hart goes around off the wall, I think, into RJ Bishop. Oh! RJ Bishop gets tagged another time as cars are coming down through, locking up the tires. The downside to when you lock the tires up, it doesn't turn.
Yeah. We'll go back and take a look. We'll load up on RJ here. Let's see what caused that yellow.
Kind of look like, I could be wrong, it could look like
oh, Noah hit the wall.
Yeah,
Noah hit the wall and collected a 91. Everybody avoided a 90. Well, maybe not everybody.
No,
almost everybody.
He got tagged as everything was kind of come to the stop. You can see that car come in there, and you can see the marks. He had the brakes locked up, but unfortunately, once you lock the brakes up, you literally have no control of the steering. It looks like Rodrigo is going to make the trip down pit road. Josh Mercurio did a good fake. So you got Mercurio up front, Gunther in second. Josh Mercurio only took the 2 tires, so he's in third. Fourth is going to be Jack Merkel. Fifth is Keith Hughes. And as I say, Crocodile Cromp is a couple of laps down, so that puts up. Now they're doing pit stops, so I can't really say too much because it's changing as they do the pit stops. So with the pit roads being about 45, even though you might be the lead car out on the track, you're not going to be the lead car when you go by under caution because the guys are going 45 mile an hour down pit road. Yeah. They're able to make their way past the pace car, and they get credited for the lap. It's kind of hard to say, which way, what, where, when, and how, solely just because you got people pitting, people not pitting, and it's hard to keep track of all of that until they get ready to go green and everybody gets situated.
Yeah, some of the cars, like Austin LaPlante, has had way better nights. Tonight, not having a good night. He was up there last year, like one of the highest mileage, I think, because I had a program, which again, Windows 11, I can't get it installed properly. Score 4 does not work. I'll figure it out one of these days, but we're able to track mileage because every track has a set mileage. And I put it in there and it would actually tally that. And I think he had the most mileage run, thousands of miles. When you actually look at the numbers, it's crazy, you know.
Last year, he ran around in the most of the year in third spot in points. Got down near the end of it, had a couple of bad races and knocked him down a little bit, but he was still in the top 10. He really was running really, really good. The only two guys that were having a better season than him were Merkel and Josh Mercurio. And, you know, so he actually had a really good year last year. This year is not so much, but hey, it's still early. He's still got a chance to make his way back up there.
Speaking of McCreary, Anthony McCreary there in first place on the high side. 55 underneath him, Nick Gunther. Row 2, Merkel and Mercurio. Then Peavy and Hughes. And we are within 20 to go here, so...
Ooh,
it's now or never.
Got a good start, then it kind of got a little shaky on.
A little push there to the 99, giving
Jack Merkel on the high side of Gunther. Jack Merkel on the high side of Gunther there has got that, been rolling that high side on these restarts all night. You know, it's probably not the best groove to go out there and run all night long, but on the restarts, it seems to work really good for him. We're getting down to it, really. We're coming up close to the 10 to go. McCreary's out front there right now. He's just got to keep a good smooth line. Don't let Merkel get underneath them, or get him on that high side that he's been passing on everybody tonight. Yeah, we've got 10 to go right now. McCreary's got a rear bumper full of that 24. Set up a little higher in the corner, trying to see if he can maybe get a little bit better run. Remember, Merkel was telling us about how these corners are a little bit different on either end. So 1 and 2, the 3 and 4, he's been setting up a little higher, trying to see if he can turn down underneath McCreary. 1 and 2, he's been really just running the bottom, staying right behind him.
He's going to have to figure it out quick because these laps go away super fast here at Bristol.
16-second laps is quick.
Yep.
I don't know who's turned the fastest lap, but I can find that out. Hold on. No surprise. Jack Merkel at a 15.984, 145.093 miles an hour. That's hauling on this track.
Are you showing 195? I'm showing 124.
124. He did, what did I say?
I think he said 195.
Oh, wait a minute. It just switched to Tate Dorsey.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
124.271. Just did it now.
Well, you know, hey, you're down to it. You ain't going to use these tires again. You might as well use them up. Merkel coming off of turn 4, tags a wall, but doesn't slow him down that much.
There's Dorsey there in the 7th spot. Merkel trying everything he's got to get around Anthony McCreary.
Gunther's just waiting. Here comes Josh McCreary on the bottom of Gunther. Trying to get that podium finish, trying to get up there and thank his sponsors tonight up in the booth.
That's the trophy, really. Talking to us.
Yep. Hey, makes it worthwhile for him, right? Hey, if we're led to bleed. Oh, Gunther on the outside. What a move.
He got that to stick somehow.
I think McCreary slowed down Jack Merkel a little bit on that bottom. Gunther just trying to get that high side to work.
And a real estate.
Able to do it.
This is a fight for the podium right here. And all these cars you're seeing here are fighting for position. 2 to go.
Oh, no!
Gunther is cooked.
I think he hit the wall. McCreary caught him after he hit the wall. That's going to take them guys out of the top 3.
Yeah, that's a shame. That was a great battle for a podium, really, because there's 5 of them, and everybody wants, obviously, to win, obviously, but...
Coming by one lap to go. Curry's still out front, Jack Merkel, and Heath Hughes. Your third place car so far. Still got to make it through this last corner.
I don't think Merkel can get him.
Oh, he's trying. What
right there the whole time. Great finish. Unfortunate for Mercurio and the 55 there, Nick.
Wow. That was an awesome finish. That's an unfortunate event there at the end there. I really think Gunther hit the wall and Mercurio was right behind him and had nowhere to go and kind of clipped him. But like I said, that's just my assumption of it. I'm not 100% sure, but... He is gonna burn them tires down. Gotta love it. That was a really good finish. I mean, Merkel, I think Merkel needed more time to work on it to get by him, but he just kept running this good smooth line, great line, and kept Merkel right behind him. So that's how you get it done right there. Everybody wants to go down and thank and congratulate him.
Yeah, I noticed.
But a tough time getting burnouts done because everybody keeps bumping into him.
I was trying to get a shot of him, and it's like, no, I can't get a picture.
Got pictures. You got pictures of people hitting him.
Yeah.
Josh ended it straightened out and still finished in the 7th position. So at least, it worked out pretty good for him as far as points goes.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been way worse. It's just, it could have been way better. It could have been way better, too. Do we have a victory lane here? I don't know if we do or not.
We do, but Bristol's victory lane is in the infield and on top of a building.
Oh, it seems like a safe space to put it.
I don't think... I think it's to your left on the...
Yeah, it is. It. Oh, there it is.
Other end of the track.
Yep, there it is. Victory lane.
I'm a little behind on you there. Yep.
Yeah. But no car.
All right, let's see here. Let's get a hold of Keith Hughes and have a chat with that old boy. Where did he go? There he is. Keith Hughes, you got Rod and Blaine in the booth. You got a copy.
Hello?
Hello?
I can hear you now, yeah.
I was trying to find you. You're in the waiting room.
Yes.
So, most of the night, about midfield, got down to the end of it. Strategy that you played worked out pretty good. You got yourself up there in the top 6. Started working your way a little bit forward. And eventually, some stuff happened. You came out 3rd tonight.
Yeah, that gives us, I think, 3 straight podiums, so we'll take it.
See, you've not made every race. You've actually missed a race, and you're currently in the 12th in points. This will help that up. We got to get you to go out there and do a full. I'm going to keep saying this. You got to go out and do a full year and go. Kick some butt. Take that Merkel guy off that throne.
The problem is I told you there's those right-hand turns coming up, and I won't be on those.
But you gotta try. I mean, you're never gonna get better at your craft if you just stick with what you're good at.
I don't want to be good at road courses either. I don't want to. I am perfectly fine being who I am.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the Purina Honda, the only Honda on the field, actually, ran pretty good tonight. Like I said, we didn't see much of it at the beginning. You stayed out of trouble, worked your way up there. At Bristol. Coming out in the 3rd, I would imagine you're pretty darn happy.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty fun race. A lot of moving around and strategy with pit stops. We had some green flag stops and a little bit of mess, not awful. but we got fortunate there at the end. Nick and Josh got together, and that kind of freed me up to get from a top 5 to a top 3. So unfortunate for them, but we'll pick up the pieces where we can.
Well, that's just it. It's unfortunate for them, but you're there to take it. So, you got to take it, Although I don't know why you're really worried too much about it. You're not points racing. You're not out here for the points. I'm going to pressure you on that. You got to go for the points, dude.
Oh, I'm fine. Like I was just here to have fun. We try to get to the lead. Never got there, but I think some changes in the track next year will make the top side a little better, and maybe we can get some passing to the top. We're almost there. Like it was really close, kind of like an old school top Bristol. But
we see a lot of the guys were able to make moves on the high side on a start. You know what I mean? When there's probably like a little bit of a bottleneck in front of them, but once you guys kind of got cleared out, single file, there wasn't really, unless somebody made a mistake on the bottom, that high side really never come into play.
Yeah, it wasn't there, and I wish it would have. It'd been nice, but it's kind of like I said, it's kind of like the old school Bristol. You ain't on the bottom, you ain't passing.
Yeah.
So hopefully next time we're at Bristol, I can make that work a little more modern.
Yeah, I agree with you. I remember when they took Bristol and they started, grinding it down a little bit and doing this and doing that and trying to make the, up next to the wall the preferred groove. I don't
want to get to that extreme, but I like.
No, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I never liked that. I didn't think that was, you don't modify, you don't put PJ1 down. That you don't, you know what I mean. You take a track the way it is. You run it. If that's the way it is, that's the way it is. Yeah,
it was fun. This track we just had finished. Tate just made it. It's more accurate than any NR track that's on NR.
Yeah.
Because we shaped it like he overlaid it on Google Maps, whatever, and it's more of an egg shape than people think. It's not just a straight circle.
Yeah, that's what Jack Merkel was saying, that turn 1 and 2 was just enough difference so that you had to drive them differently.
Yeah, that made it challenging and fun, and I enjoyed the night. I was proud for how everybody did for the most part. There's a few here and there things, but for the most part, everybody did pretty good for a short track.
Yeah. Blaine, you have any questions for Keith?
No, I'd just like to apologize for the peer pressure in which my co-host is saying, you've got to race for points and you've got to race the road courses, buddy.
No. How about, Rod, I'll let you drive my 82 car on road course night, and you can give me owner points. How about that?
How about this? All right, we'll do that.
We'll do it.
You get up in the booth and you call the race. I'll go drive your road courses for you.
Okay, but maybe we can work something out.
That'll be cool. We can do that.
Yeah, we can do that. I'm not the greatest road course racer, but I keep going. I'll keep trying.
Me neither, but it's fun, yeah.
Yeah, I won't say that.
Buddy. Congratulations on your third place finish. I know, like you said, the seas parted and you took it, but that's what you got to do. So I'll give you the opportunity to thank anybody you would like to thank for getting you here. Whatever. Even if you want to thank your mom, or your puppy dog, or wait a minute, your cats.
Yeah, my cats.
Yeah.
Look at my car.
I
got cats. Yeah, I think again, always the cats being on the car. They're lucky 3, I guess, because we keep getting podium finishes, which I'll take in Maverick. I mean, I'd rather win, but I like having fun. I had fun tonight, even if I didn't win. Thanks for my family for letting me race, and it's just thanks for everybody for coming out, and thanks y'all for broadcasting.
All right, well there you go. The third place finisher for tonight, Keith Hughes in the Purina.
Nice.
Purina Honda. So, all right, and I don't think I see. Where did he go? Jack Merkel's not here, and I don't know which one is McCreary. So is that Slim Matt? Was that McCreary?
I'm not sure. That's a Ben question. I don't know who that is.
All right. Well, we'll have to grab Benjamin and find out. Well, congratulations on your third place finish and surviving Bristol.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Keith. Who's Silmac?
From
That might be him.
That Benjamin. I was just wondering which one is McCreary.
Which one is who?
TeamSpeak. Don't have.
That is the winner.
And is that Slimac? Is that him?
That's Anthony McCreary.
Okay, well that's what question I was asking because I didn't know. Thank you. All right, Anthony McCrary. Sorry about that. Took a minute to figure out that that was you because your name's not up there, as McCrary. So you ran pretty good tonight. You kind of didn't start too far at the front there, pretty good, but then you got out there, a couple good pit stop strategies, got yourself out the front, got down to the end of that thing, and you held off Jack Merkel. I mean, you had a great race, buddy.
I honestly didn't expect that to happen. Me in this league does not seem to mix well when it comes to luck, and we kept the car clean for once, and that is all that matters.
That's the important thing, and to come out with the victory, that's great. I was just trying to find you here in the points. Where did you go?
I will be very low in it. I've had two very consistent 30th places, but
wow, man. Wow, that's gonna be a big help for you tonight. Yeah, we're not gonna tell everybody where you iron points. Just we'll leave that alone.
All right.
Yeah, but tonight's race will definitely get you a lot closer to the top 20. I mean, closer up there. All in all, come out with a Bristol win. Like I said, perfect strategy. You used it to perfection. Got yourself out there and got the win. So, I mean, I don't know what to say, man. I think it was pretty awesome.
Thank you. We had a little scare earlier in the race because I guess the sim tabbed out, and when it tabs out, the screen goes black and you can't control anything. And I was trying to get the screen to tab. That's why you saw the car dip to the inside of the racetrack. That was the game tabbing out. And I was trying to get it to turn on, and I turned left because I didn't want anybody behind me to get run over. And so when it finally came back, we were in 12th, and I was like, oh, well, that's not fun. So we kind of just worked our way through the pack the best we could, and then everyone started making green flag stops because of tires. And I guess I did part way. I'd like to say that I kind of did it on purpose, but I actually didn't do it on purpose. I didn't realize that the tires were really that close to being dead, and then when the yellow came out, I looked down and my right front was about to explode, so I was like, oh, we could have gone very badly. But we got a lucky yellow and got us back up in the top, and then Allison got a great restart that first time around. And I thought, I was like, okay, well, he's going to go on. I'm going to try to chase him down. And then we got another quick yellow. Didn't get as well of a restart. We were able to battle side by side, which that was really fun, getting to battle side by side throughout this race. And Jack was very much the faster car towards the end. We were just able to use the whole width of the track and was able to defend and put it right in the middle of the track, so he couldn't really find a way around, and was hoping that we could just keep it from having a lot of understeer and heading towards the wall. And when it was able to grip, and we were able to keep the lead, and we got enough power out of the turns, thankfully, that it was able to at least get down the straights without having anybody dip to the inside or the outside.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I kind of forgot that you had that. We saw you come off the corner and the thing just turned left, and we thought, oh no, must be he's running a G27 with Windows 11, because that's a known problem that they're having. But that thing just veered off there. I forgot that you did that, and then turn around and come back and use the strategy just right to win. That's even cooler.
I was hoping it would work, and it worked. And like I said, usually me and this league don't mix. Last season we had a terrible season. It seemed like we could not catch a break. Every race, somebody was running into us, or we would just have unlucky pit stops or whatever have you, and it never could pull it together. But this season, thankfully, other than the two races that we've already run, which we're not going to talk about, hopefully this is a reset of the season. We got a long way to go. Maybe we'll be able to pull something out, and I hope that we can continue to have good runs, and maybe we'll battle for the championship, maybe not, but at least we're having fun. Tonight's race was fun. I had a lot of fun tonight.
That's a good thing when you can come in, just race and having fun, and you ended up dropping yourself into victory lane. That's even better. Blaine, do you have any questions for Anthony?
Well, I was curious about track position on the restarts, because there was a few yellows this evening, and tires spin. We saw a bunch of guys spinning tires. It's like, does that even get in your head, or you just don't even are you afraid of spinning your tires, trying to hold that track position, stay up front, stay in front of all that stuff?
After pitting, no, because the tires were warm enough, we were able to kind of put power all the way down and it would be fine. We were restarting in second gear because first would top out and you just spin the tires, no matter how fresh or old your tires were. But later on in the run, I noticed that after I'd stayed out that whole last run, I realized that the tires were starting to get so worn and they were starting a lot colder that even in second gear, towards the top end of the gear, they would start slipping. So I was hoping that after the cool down, we weren't going to have another quick yellow because I wasn't going to pit. And if we had to have another restart, I probably would have been thinking about it more. But most of the time, we had just come off a pit lane. It was all right. We could keep it in second and mash the throttle, and we were hitting third gear before we even considered wheel spin.
With some of the accidents that were out there, I'm surprised you kept that thing clean.
I am too.
There was it was a parking lot, like Rod even said it a couple times, like, oh, we got a parking lot, because there's but I think that was kind of neat to see too, because everybody was heads up, right? Like, oh man, there's some stuff going on here. It's Bristol, it's tight. Let's just stop, let people get turned around and get rolling again, instead of just full bore plowing right through it all and wrecking everybody's evening. Everybody sort of cooperated, I thought anyway.
A lot of the leaders were in a call together, so we were kind of like keeping out for you. And a few of the slower drivers also were in that same call, so we were, if somebody was further back and they saw the wreck happen, they would call it out and they would tell us what turn it was in, and we would just kind of roll off and see how bad it was when we got there. And those couple that were blocking the whole track, I almost ran over Jack because we both came out of the turn and we couldn't really see it until we got out of the turn, and then we were just like, oh no, and to like slam the brakes.
Well, there you go. That's good though. So I was looking at the thing. You did miss one race this season. So was that the Daytona one? I remember you. It not was Daytona. Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say I thought you didn't make that one. That's kind of hurt you points wise, but I don't think you're over here points racing anyways. You're here to have fun. Try to get some of these races in, and maybe steal a win or two, which you was able to do tonight. So that's cool.
Yeah, the way my work schedule works is it's difficult to get sometimes to make it all the races, and that's why I missed Daytona. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, so I don't really go for championships. I've not really ever competed for a championship. I don't have any championship wins in like NR. I have a couple in like F1 and Assetto Corsa, but I don't have anything in NR just because it's hard to plan for a weekly series when I have a lot of other things going on. But I do like coming and racing, and I do like getting occasional wins, and I just try to stay out of the way of the people that are actually competing for a championship because I don't want to mess anybody up. But if I have a chance to win, I'm going to take it.
Yeah, well, you gotta.
Yeah.
All right, well, congratulations on your win tonight. I'll give you the opportunity to thank anybody you would like to thank. The floor is yours.
Thanks to everybody that hosts this league. It's a fun league to be in, and thank you to all the NSURA crew because they've got me into NR, and it's been really fun. Also, if you need any sim racing gear, here's my shameless plug. Go to abruzzi.co.uk. Everything you could possibly need, you can get it there. Moses steering wheels, I think it's Fanatec now because they lost the deal, but whatever. Gloves, rigs, everything. If you need sim racing gear, abruzzi.co.uk. And you guys for broadcasting, you guys do a fantastic job.
How do you spell that website you just said?
Oh God, ABRUZZI.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Abruzzi.
Cool.
.co.uk. Some of it is cool, like some of the things, and they're reasonably priced. It's just it's a one-stop shop, and if you want to get some like higher end gear, you're not going to find any like Logitech or anything there, but you will find Moza, or at least you could find Moza. And then I think you can find Fanatec there now, and a whole load of other products that you can get. It's like drive belts, wheels, pedals, the whole bit.
That's awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah. Shameless plug, dude, but you got to do it. Huh?
That might be my fourth scheme. I don't have a fourth scheme yet. Maybe I'll make an Abruzzi car again.
Nice. Do you paint your own stuff?
No, I have no artistic talent.
Okay. Who's a painter?
Either Seth Cole or RJ Bishop.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah. Seth painted the what is it? The Kevin car from last week or 2 weeks ago. Yeah. That's going to be my Rexy car.
Well, congratulations on the win tonight. And hopefully we'll see you next week. Where are we at next week again?
Kansas.
Kansas. Do you like Kansas?
I don't hate Kansas.
There you go.
So
Close enough.
it'll be fine.
Hopefully we'll see you next week at Kansas, and you can come back in at least a podium finish and give another interview and a shameless plug.
I hope to see you again next week as well.
All right. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you.
Thanks, Anthony.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, this is a
There
good
he
one.
is. Anthony
Gotta love it.
McCreary.
Yep.
McCreary. Lots of R's in using that name. I got to make sure
Yeah.
I get them all. McCreary. But yeah, man, what a win! And he kept the thing clean too. Craziness.
Yep.
But yeah, that what a
Right,
good
Sad?
race, man. Look at the rundown too. I love looking at the rundown on like the laps led. Gunther 28, 29 by Allison Rodrigo, 85 most laps led tonight by Jack Merkel, and then even McCreary had 40. In a 200 lap race. It's lots of laps are up for grabs, so it's cool to see.
It was a good race, actually. A little more cautions than they had last year, but still, all in all, pretty good race. We saw a lot of guys hanging that back end of the car out on the exit of the corners. And like they said, it was a different track, a little bit different work on it. Keith was talking about how they want to make it a little bit better for next year, and I'm sure they will. They'll get in there, tweak that thing, get a little maybe get a little second groove action going on. I think that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, it'd be neat. But yeah, join us next week right here at Maverick Cup Series. We'll be at Kansas, so that should be fun. Tomorrow on
Wow,
Tarnation
nice.
TV is at, where's the screen? There it is.
TMP.
That's the
Homestead.
finale. The IROC.
TMP IROC finale. Well, actually, it's the finale. Their whole points thing falls down to a 4-race IROC Series championship. So we have the 4 drivers in there. If I remember right, it was Rich and Epic. Tom Goodwin made it in by being the last guy to get points. Oh, who were the other guys? Come on, Rod. I forget. We'll figure it all out tomorrow. We'll have that information for you.
Yeah, because I know like that, like you said, it's an IROC Championship Series
Yep.
finale, but it's like their whole entire league and all the series they run all get squashed down into this, which is a neat way to do it, right?
Yep, 4 guys
So-
going for a championship. So
Yeah, very cool. Then, of course, on Thursday, FRN does all the talking. We do all the production. The Talladega Challenge at RTG. Massive race every week. Massive league. Rolling Thunder Gaming. So cool they got us in there. So cool again. The call from Prime Time, starting up the next 3 Fridays. That's their playoff round. Is always a three-round knockout style thing. So the Friday Night Super Speedway Series over there at Prime Time, and of course on Saturday, All-Star Racing League Season 2 begins, the Premier Talladega Super Speedway Series over there as well. David Chin, Brian Wolf, and that whole crew. So lots going on this week. If you tune into the channel, we'll be here every day. Every day. But
for a little bit. I won't be here. Probably won't be there. Maybe Friday and Saturday. We don't know yet. But
Yeah.
we'll see how those days work out. But
yeah, we'll figure something out. But yeah, man, any final words before we wrap it up?
that was a pretty good race. A little more cautions than we expected. Last year's Bristol race was pretty, a lot less cautions and stuff. And we actually saw some green flag pit stops tonight, so that was pretty cool. But no, I think it was a great race. Anthony just kind of snookered him there at the end. Right strategy, kept Jack Merkel behind him. Unfortunate for Gunther and Mercurio, they got kind of tangled up there coming down to the end of it. But all in all, great race.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you to everyone in the YouTube chat for watching this thing live tonight. Super cool to see about 160, 200 hits on this thing live. And of course to Ben over at Maverick for having us do the gig. And Bristol, cool new track that we've never seen before that apparently was created by Maverick, the Maverick track team. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
I think it needs a tweak on the pit road speed. Somebody said the pit road speed and the pace speed kind of got flipped. So other than that, this has the potential to be pretty awesome.
I think it does.
Yeah. So thanks to the drivers, of course, all the drivers. Maverick Cup Series. Join us next week. We'll be here. Everybody for watching. Thank you very much. If it's live or if it's on replay, whatever you want to do, it's definitely appreciated. And as always, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Keep your stick on the ice.